I have to I ha- I had to recontinue here because I'm not about to give up on the message. What was happening is what was happening is that there is a lot of broadband. The broadband we use, there was a lot of disruption. So the video stopped, but I was not about to give up on it. So I'm going to carry on with the video. Anyway, so watch the previous session. The question is there. I answered the question. The person inquired about, we like the words of truth and wisdom, but why it is so significant to know all this? That was a question. So I mentioned about Siva in my last video, and then I said the reason you like the words of truth and the reason you like the words of truth and wisdom, because truth and wisdom is common sense, and the reason you love the words of truth and wisdom, the reason you love to hear me, is because it's already in you, but it has been cluttered. So I'm not telling you something new, but I'm just letting you know that I'm just uncluttering the fog. So that's why you like it and you love it. But the person who made the inquiry, but the person who made the inquiry, they said further that why it is significant to know the words of truth and wisdom in our lives. The reason it is significant, because you know everything, you know every single thing around you. You know every single thing around you. Yeah, much better. Okay. You know every single thing around you in the relationship of yourself. That's why it is not only important to know the words of truth and wisdom, or to realize. Realize means it's already in you, but you are just realizing it. You are not knowing anything, something new, but you are just realizing it. Not only that, but make it your living experience, because through the words of truth and wisdom, which encompasses Kriya, the yoga and the meditation, we can be liberated. That is the way to the liberty. Liberty means there is no suffering now. So you don't suffer. That's why it's important. You know everything around you, objects around you. You know human beings around you, or the beings. I wouldn't even go to call it human beings, because human being is a human construct. Human being, the word human, is a human construct. So the beings you know in your everyday life, basically, you know in the relation, you know whether a being or in anything that you have ever known, you have known in the relationship of yourself. There is no way that you can know something which is not in the relationship of yourself. Are you following? Are you truly? I want your focus intact here, okay? So you understand what I'm saying to you. It's very significant. I want your 100% focus intact here. Anything and everyone you ever come across, or anything that you have known so far in your entire life, you know in the relationship with you. It's not possible for you to know something which is not in the relationship with you. If you get the book of, which I have mentioned in the previous videos, in the messages, that if you get the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, you would realize that he gives a lot of clarity to you. He says that you are the perception, you are the perception, basically, of your story. Your story is all about you. What he's calling a story is the three-dimensional experience. That's what he's calling a story. The story is about you. You are the center of your perception. You cannot know anything if you are not the center of it. It's not possible. Again, I repeat, it's not a challenge. No matter how hard you look at it, it's not a challenge. It's a fact. No matter how hard you look at it, you cannot perceive anything if you are not included in it. No matter how hard you look at it, you cannot perceive anything if you are not included in it. For the sake of argument, somebody stands up and says, what about a thought that I was having a thought in my mind? What about that? About somebody else? You see, somebody can stand up and raise that question. What about a thought that I was having about somebody else? How that includes me? So the answer is very simple. If you ever pay enough attention or focus enough to yourself, what about that thought? You are the one who is having the thought. You are included in there too. You are the one who is having the thought, so you are included already. It does not matter you are having a thought about somebody else, but you are the one who is perceiving the thought. So you see, no matter how hard you look at it, you are the center of your perception. And it is not possible. It is not possible through the law of nature that you perceive something in which you are not included. That's why it is important to know and to adopt and to look around and see what this person is saying. Is it practical? Is it healthy for me? Is it friendly? Can I adopt it? Can I make it my own experience? That's how you would evolve. The only way you can acquire that kind of mind frame, the only way when you are open to it. When you are not closed by some religious philosophy or by books or by the places of worships, that no, I know this is truth. No, you don't know this is truth. You think you know this is truth. These are two separate things. You think this is truth and what is truth are two separate things. No, I know this is true. No, if that was true, I would be seeing in you. But I don't see that. So your own actions and how you carry yourself contradicts with what you say. It's a fact. It's a truth. You can tell yourself any number of stories and you can live in that lie. It's not going to be true. We all must be open towards if we ever want to grow and reduce samskara. You see, the samskara, remember? We talked about samskara. Samskara is the circle of birth and death. Samskara is the circle of birth and death. What you understand is karma that you are shedding. You are taking forms to shed that. You can, and when you have shed all the karma, then the existence of the being or the state of the being is nothing but heaven, because heaven or paradise does not have any negativity to it. Karma, of course, is an identification, encompasses a huge detail. Anyway, we don't want to be too off track from the topic. So the topic is why it is important. That's why. So anything what you perceive, you are the center of your perception. You following me? And when you are the center of your perception, you need to look at yourself first, that what you are, instead of changing other people. You see, going door to door, ringing the bells and asking them, do you know what God's name is? What difference does that make in your life? Even if you knew the God name, what difference, what role that playing in your life? You see, I'm not trying to disrespect or downplay these things, you see, but these things are very impractical. And then people, and it's my service to you to bring more clarity. And after that, what you do with that knowledge or information is entirely your business. You understand? You cannot find the truth or changing other people by going door to door and asking, do you know what God's name is? Or any number of similar things the human perform. going in a circle over and over and over, not getting anywhere. So it's my service and it's my job to bring clarity, and after that what you do with the knowledge or information is entirely your business. It's not mine. But at least I'm not failing myself. I'm giving you an option. So you cannot change anybody unless you are totally aligned and balanced. Do you know what that means? Do you know what does it mean to be entirely aligned and balanced? That you have a total control on yourself, and the only way you can do that is when you look how things are happening within you, not outside or out there. Remember, we talked about God in the last video, always looking outside. It's not outside, it's within. So look within profoundly. And that's what rishis or Lord Shiva did. Look within profoundly and understand yourself so profoundly that there remains nothing further to understand. And then you can bring a change. And you can spread the words of truth and wisdom and beauty and love, because that's what it remains in the end. But you need to first understand yourself fully. I'll give you an example how most people think that they are on a right path, and then how most people act. I'll give you an example. It's a live example. It has happened. It's true. This story is based on true events. Oh my gosh, funny. Anyway, I'll give you a live example. A few days back, I had an earpiece in my ear, so of course the person in my surrounding, they didn't see this. Demographics in this story, which is real story or true story, are not important. I do not ever pay attention if you focus on demographics, because these are unnecessary things. They are not serving any purpose. So the demographics in this story are not important. Anyway, there was a person in my surrounding and they were nearby, and I had an earpiece, and I was just calling my spouse Bridget, and as soon as she picked up the phone, so I said, "Hey baby doll." So this person, they turned around and they looked at me. They couldn't see the earpiece. They said, "Oh hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "No, actually I'm on the phone and I'm talking to my spouse, Bridget. And I'm not talking to you." But I didn't say it in any rude way. I'm just making a statement. They personally got involved. They got themselves involved in that, not knowing. So I just told them politely. I said, "I'm over the phone. Actually, I'm talking to my spouse." So they said, oh, okay. But after some time, they were telling me that they were embarrassed. And they were saying that because of my action, they were embarrassed. You see the cluttering? That's what I call cluttering. That you cannot see the truth as truth is happening, but you only see what you want to see. That's what cluttering is. Cluttering shows you what you want to see. So they told me that they were embarrassed that time, and I embarrassed them. So you see, from my perspective, I want you to pay enough attention to it. That's how most humans function in the society. From my perspective, I'm calling my spouse and I'm calling her baby doll. That's all I'm doing. You see, my intention is to speak with my spouse. That's what my intention is. There is nothing ill or demented about my intention. I'm just calling my spouse and I'm trying to have a good conversation with her because I miss her. And this person gets herself involved in the situation, thinking that I was calling her baby doll. And after that, when I explain politely, they say that they were embarrassed and I embarrassed them. I am asking you, did I embarrass them? I'm asking you, did I have any intentions to embarrass them? You know the answer as well as I do, okay? I don't expect you to write the answer in the comment section. That's not necessary. That's not the reason I'm trying to make this point. The reason I'm trying to make this point, I'm trying to show you a clear picture that what you claim, and then it does not reflect how you act with other people. You get yourself involved in a situation, you get yourself embarrassed because of the lies you have learned, and then you expect me to apologize to you or carry any guilt. That would never happen. I do not carry no guilt, because I am so fully alert of myself. I am so fully aware of myself. I hold myself accountable for every action I perform or do. I don't see anything wrong. Why would I apologize just because you got yourself embarrassed? So I told this person, I said, you got yourself embarrassed. Politely, I told them. I don't have to get in a rage. It's not necessary in this situation. I just told them, hey, look at it profoundly. I cannot apologize to you because of your actions. It's your action. I cannot apologize to you because of your actions. It's your action. You understand? It has nothing to do with me. So that is out of question, I told them, and and that I left it to that. I don't carry this drama. I just left the scene. I left everything about it, and I moved on. After a few minutes, they showed up. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I don't care about what happens afterwards. After a few minutes, they showed up and they apologized to me, which I didn't even ask them in return to apologize to me. I just moved on. I left the scene. I know the rules of the nature. I know the laws of the nature. I know them very, very clear. So I know what's going on. I know the entire experience. I know everything about it. So I leave it and I move on without giving them any apology, because of course I didn't cause any embarrassment. And then after a few minutes, they showed up again and they apologized to me. And I said, no apology necessary. Go mind your own business. I don't expect your apology. It's not going to change anything in my life. I live in practical things, not in the drama of apology or the foolish morality or the manners. I mean, if you interact with me personally, you would realize I have all that. But I do not, I have also the awareness in my mind that these things are not necessary. The only thing which is necessary is what your intention is to perform an action and how clear you are, how much clarity and truth you have in you, without any guilt, without any embarrassment, without any shame, without any ill feelings about yourself or towards anybody. These things are important because these are negative emotions that of course keep you restless. So these things are important. But all this hello, hi, I mean, if you want to do it, that's well and good. But hello, hi, the mannerism, all that, it's human pay too much attention. That's what I'm saying to these things. But they don't pay enough attention to the things they are supposed to pay enough attention. The things which would liberate them and would make them less miserable. You understand? Or not miserable even at all. They don't pay attention to those things. So the self-realization, now I'm trying to sum up the answer. The self-realization is the most important thing in your life because you know everything in the relationship of you. What does it mean to be self-realized? Means you realize yourself. That's what it is. You realize everything about you. You know everything what there is to know about yourself. That's what self-realization is. And the more you know yourself, the less miserable you would look and the more liberated you are. You understand? Self-realization is the key towards the ultimate liberation. Have you have you heard of a Sanskrit term? Have you heard of a Sanskrit term? It is called moksha or moksha. If you look at my Facebook, one of the profile pictures, it says in one of my profile pictures that I'm holding a banner, a white banner, and on the white banner it says moksha. So the word moksha or moksha or mukti means the ultimate liberation. Ultimate liberation outside of the circle of samskara, which is the birth of one and the demise. So when there is no karma, what remains is ultimate liberation, which is outside of the circle of birth and the bodily demise. That's what mukti means. So the self-realization would lead you to that path. Then you wouldn't have to born again, and then we wouldn't have to die again, then we wouldn't have to born again, and then we wouldn't have to die again. It's an ultimate liberation for us that can only be attained through the self-awareness or the self-realization. Look at yourself. The way the cosmos is designed, it's a geometry. The cosmos is designed is a geometry. Through the yoga or through the meditation or certain or maintaining or by maintaining certain yogic positions while performing the meditation, you can totally align yourself with the cosmic geometry. You know that? That's why it is so significant. And if you got aligned with the cosmic geometry, you wouldn't even feel that you are putting any efforts towards the life you are living. Through the perspective of your body or mind, you would never feel tired. I don't feel tired. You know that? I have so much energy. I've been talking here for the last 1 hour to give you more truth and wisdom, and I can still carry on. I have so much energy with me that it's unbelievable. But it does not happen in one night or to snap the finger. Everything requires a certain amount of time that you put aside solely for yourself. Everything requires a certain amount of commitment. Nobody can force you to make time. Nobody can force you to make commitments, or nobody can force you to dedicate yourself. If you are happy and totally fulfilled with your life, then discard my words. That's fine. It has no effect on me. As you can see, nothing has any effect on me. By now, you know now. Excuse me. But I'm here for you. If you think that you are totally satisfied and happy with your life, discard my words. Go on your way, do your thing. That's perfectly fine with me too. And two, if you feel that you are not satisfied with your life or you are depending too much, if you feel that you are not satisfied with your life or you are depending too much on other things or other people, in other words, you feel vulnerable for the most part, then it's time for you to take a look and see, what am I doing with my life? How can I make the change within? You see? And then this is where I come in the picture. These are the words of truth and wisdom for you. And ask me, and I will help you. You see? I keep saying that. I speak a lot of words here anyway. But if you have confusion, then ask me, and I'll bring more clarity. We'll start a communication, and I'll teach you, or rather, I'll show you. You understand what I'm saying? Rather, I'll show you. All you gotta do is ask, and be serious. Have you learned to sit? See? The cosmic geometry position. Have you learned to sit yet? With your spine erect, or at least as erect as humanly possible, and sit attentive? Have you learned not to make new philosophies or to engage in a thought process? Have you learned all that? Do you perform all that on the regular basis to see the miraculous and positive results in your life? Have you done all that? Are you doing all that?